One. Hi, everyone, and welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. This is your Hall of Fame panel. Emmy seeking. I don't know if they do Emmys for web shows. I mean, they do them for streaming TV. So why not us? So so we won an Emmy. Let's just put it out there. I don't know what category, but I dream as an old man one day having the Emmy TV Legends website people come and interview me. Anyway, good to have you along with us. Boy, what a wild night last night. Let me introduce everybody. Stephen Hayes is with us. Brian and Reagan Danzig, Rick Diesel back with us. I am Mad Matt Carter. What a wild night last night. It is definitely summer wrestling at the park. We had some new faces. It was about 1,000 degrees in there. I used the old cornet adage. The walls were dripping. It was so hot in there.
It was tough, but you know what? We had a great turnout. Our crowd, I saw people that I hadn't seen in a while, which I was excited to see, and we had a really good turnout. I was very happy. They really put themselves to the test with that heat. That's true fandom, if you ask me.
I'll tell you, everything that Darren had that was cold or frozen appeared to be flying out of that food truck last night, just as hard as it could go. And
that was Darren's test.
Yeah,
see if he could handle the food truck. I mean, that was his first event in that new food truck. So,
well, I mean,
it ain't even completely up to par yet. We still got some more stuff we got to do to it. So.
Yeah,
we brought it in, not firing at all cylinders, but it done pretty good.
Yeah, and I noticed that he was really loading up the nachos with those meaty jalapenos that we all like. Trista showed me the jar, and I got one in the pantry now. I love those jalapenos. They're real thick, good meaty jalapenos that they serve on there, and a lot of people were eating them. But that's kind of pretty smart. I mean, if you eat a bunch of jalapenos, it's going to make you start sweating and going to make the heat easier to deal with. So, so I was glad to see that. Darren looked like he was working hard, but he had a big grin on his face all night. So
yeah, he did.
I know he
came and checked, even as busy as he came and checked on me a couple of times. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's something, boy. But what a wild night of action. And we had breaking news right at the beginning of the show. I got the video. It's downloaded. I've got it queued up and ready to go. So if you guys would like to take a look at the big announcement that happened at the beginning of last night's show, we'll go to it right now. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
All right. I hope it's not too loud. I'll tell you what. Okay, yeah, 78. That ought to be fine. If it blasts your ears at the beginning, I'll pull it back out. So just bear with me. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
All right, Smokey, roll it.
Veterans Park in Mount Airy, North Carolina, Saturday, August the 10th. It is the last show before Deal with the Steel 2024
people arguing over in the corner.
on August the 31st. And alongside me here tonight is my unfortunate nemesis, Mr. Seth Clayton Burns.
It is unfortunate I'm out here with you.
God, I'm so fat.
You are.
Let's hear what Rick Diesel has to say.
Man, that was the weirdest music I've ever come out to in my life.
It was. I don't know what that was.
I was a Tibetan monk there for about 30 seconds.
He was
Now,
a guru
if any
once.
of you guys were here at the last
He's been a lot
show,
of things.
then you know what happened in this ring. It was total freaking chaos.
Yes,
I
was.
actually got punched in the face by my own son-in-law.
He did, right? He did.
Yeah, I mean,
We
can't
discuss
deny it.
that later. So that's handled. But as you know, that night I made an announcement that there would be a match between Ty Tyson and Lewis Moore inside the cage, which, by the way, Matt, it's 11 foot. We measured it.
Rick's always measuring.
I'm a nitpicker. But I announced that night that there would be a match. Well, tonight I am here to announce the participants in that match. In 3 weeks, August the 31st, right here in this building, Like Matt said, we're going to put a cage. All matches that night will be inside that steel cage. Now, the main event that night is going to be very interesting. You ready? I told both participants, Ty Tyson and Lewis Moore, that night to find you a partner.
I found a good one.
Well, it's been done. First off, Lewis Moore's partner will be none other than a WCW legend, the Barbarian.
What? Oh my.
Ty Tyson's partner will be somebody all of you know. Ladies and gentlemen, Ty Tyson will enter the ring with his partner,
Beat that.
Lodi.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
Lodi comes
we
back
also
to
know
Miami.
that as long as Mousy over here is in anywhere near this building, and the Seth Burns herd, that anything could happen. So we got to thinking, what is the best way to keep Seth Burns and his crowd at bay? It's to put somebody outside the ring. Somebody that's going to hold on to that key. Somebody who's not going to take no crap off of these guys. So the special enforcer for that night will be Nikita Koloff.
What? Oh my God!
The Russian Nightmare, the man with the hardest clothesline in the world, will be standing outside that cage, and he will have the key around his neck. So if Seth Burns and any of his crowd wants to, I don't care what you say, get over there and kick in the mouth.
You better be careful.
So you want to try anything, you got to go through Nikita Koloff to get in this cage. So that will be the main event in 3 weeks in this very building. Ty Tyson and Lodi versus Lewis Moore and the Barbarian with the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff, as the special guest enforcer. You don't want to miss that one. Plus a lot more that night, guys. It's going to be awesome.
Joke's on you. I hear Russians aren't loyal.
Joke's on you, Russians. I hear Russians aren't loyal. Oh, I gotta love Seth. Oh, that is a huge announcement.
Lithuanian.
Yeah. They still call him the Russian Nightmare though, because Lithuanian.
Yeah, it has a better ring to it.
Yeah. But wow, so Nikita Koloff's gonna be here. And when I told my wife the special announcement, I was like, the Barbarian's gonna be here, and she's like, isn't he an old man now? And I was like, yes, we're all old men now. I said, but the Barbarian, remember we saw him and the Warlord wrestle against the Rock and Roll in that cage match in Spartanburg about 8 years ago. And she was like, oh yeah, he'll be fine. And I was like, yeah. And then I said, guess who the special enforcer is going to be? And she goes, who? And I said, Nikita Koloff. And she's like, oh, really? And
She might put the book down for that one.
Yeah, she might. I don't know if she's going to come though. I know nephew's coming, but mother-in-law will be here by then, so they may hang out and let.
You don't want the mother-in-law to see what you do.
No, I'd love for her to see it. I don't know what she'd think of it, but
Oh man. Well, I'll just say that was the beginning of Seth Burns' night, just to say the least. He did not have, after that announcement, he did not have the best night. But
it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, but
yes, it was.
I mean, I can't think of a better person to hold a key than Nikita Koloff.
Yeah.
I mean, not only a legend, but he still is pretty menacing looking. I mean, so it's not like some frail, skinny, tiny little guys coming in. I mean, he's still, he looks like he still has it. So I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited because, as everybody knows, I'm a mark, and I'm seeing 3 guys. I know Lodi's been around before, but Barbarian and Nikita were huge with what I watched and what I've been rewatching. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, we're very excited, and we was so happy when we reached out to Nikita, to his people and his people and our people and their people and all the people got to talking, and he's like, "Sure, I'll do it." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So we all got excited when we heard that news. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. But now Lewis Moore and the Barbarian has had a lot of issues between each other down in the Raleigh area when they wrestled down there. But it's like I seen a post that Lewis made on Facebook that said, if I can't have Matt Houston there, at least I have somebody I know can get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Lodi and Ty, for some reason, I feel like Lodi and Ty is just going to be like two dynamos in there. I mean, they're a lot alike in their mannerisms and their wrestling style and the energy that they have. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, that and the popularity of both men.
Yes.
Anytime either one of them walks through the curtain, the roof blows off the place. I can't imagine what it's going to be when those two are teamed together. Just the energy from that crowd that's going to be pulling for that team of two very popular wrestlers. I'm very excited to see that.
And Deal with Steel's already lined up to be a great card.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working on a deal that we're probably going to announce this week with Pure Pro Wrestling out of the Danville, Virginia area. So we're working on that, but everything's pretty much locked in. So that announcement should be coming very soon too.
Oh boy, that does my heart good. Because I always said I'm a homesteader. I like this promotion and don't really, wouldn't even consider going anywhere else. But if the people that ran Pure Pro Wrestling called me up and said, "Hey, we need a ring announcer," I'd call the boss man first and get his thumbs up, but I would not hesitate. That's good. That's a great promotion. Some of our wrestlers, Justin Flash wrestles up there on a regular basis.
Yes.
Still, he's held titles there. So, I mean, what a great outfit. So that really makes me happy. So, but a huge main event. And I'll tell you what, if Seth Clayton Burns gets lippy with Nikita Koloff, he's going to find out. He's going to find out what David Crockett did in 1985 when he's on the business end of a Russian sickle. And
Nikita, if Seth Clayton Burns wants to get in the cage, maybe just messing with Nikita would help, because Nikita could probably push him through one of those little holes.
Probably could. He was trying to tell me last night in the locker room that Clara Carter agreed to marry him. And I mean, I just,
He also stole the handheld camera from me.
Yeah, I saw him with that.
Snuck up behind me, snatched it off my desk, and took it off. And so
out there shooting during Mickey Phelps' match.
I'm going to tell fans right now, if it looks like a maniac is whirling around with that camera, it's a maniac. It's
because it is in fact a maniac.
It's Seth Clayton Burns.
It is in fact a maniac.
Yeah.
So I tried to keep it as the least amount of nauseating shots as I could, but he is a squirrely little guy.
Squirrely.
We have not heard that term on a regular basis in the AIWF in many years.
And it's also
Dr. Bill, if you're watching, I know you're marking out right now. So, oh boy, we had some new people show up last night too. We got to see Action Jackson again. Got to see Action Jackson. He was in action against Baron Victor Kraus. I tried to say it with like a German swing when I introduced him, and kind of make it sound like mean German accent, but I can't do it. My tongue just don't twist that way. But we saw him in action, and then we had.
I'm sorry, Matt. There ain't nothing. I'm very distracted by the cat's tail.
Yeah, that's why I had to look away.
It just kind of curls up into.
He's gone.
You don't see nothing but the tail. I'm sorry, it's gone now. But go ahead.
That's why I had to look away. I had to look at the other screen because it was distracting me.
We're trying to keep putting it down, and it just
that cat knows. That cat knows.
Yes, they all know. I see cats all the time in meetings at work at my shoot job.
We're trying to keep the the rear end part out of the camera. So
That's what they
There's a
love to show
camera
you.
on somewhere. Let me. It's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue, Matt. I am so sorry.
Look at my butt. Cam Isaac against the Dante Khalifa. If I could have your permission to just show about 30 seconds or a minute of this.
You know what? Yes, go right ahead. Show
Okay.
show a clip of it, because I heard so many people talking about these two, but I was in the back dealing with crap. So
yeah, they were fantastic.
I would like to see.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me get it pulled up here. I went ahead and upload, I always, when I get home from the shows, I upload all the videos so they're ready to go. And I'm glad I'm doing
I heard
that
they took the that they come in and took Mount Airy by storm.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I was really impressed by this, but I want to show you some of. Now, I don't know who this referee was, but he did not have any awareness where the camera was, so I had to work around him. So,
welcome to my world, Matt.
Yeah. But take a look at some of this action. And then,
that is referee Roy Myers. He used to work with us a long time ago.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I love the acoustics of our ring.
Cam Isaac against the Dante Khalifa.
Watch this. It looked like it hurt his own guy as much as it did Cam.
Andrew Diggs, the man on the outside, in the corner of Khalifa.
Now, I've been seeing Dante Khalifa pop up a lot in the Carolinas here lately, and the upper part of South Carolina. So he's on the move.
Yeah, I can see why. He's crisp. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're both good, but I really noticed it is just the way he moves is incredible. I don't want to give it all away. I want to think they do something here. I got something coming up that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Knock his teeth out.
No kidding. That wasn't it, but I'm not gonna give it all away here. I want to save it so it can get some hits on YouTube later. But Matt, that's an impressive couple of guys right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say they just came out there, weren't nervous. As a matter of fact, when I was getting their biographical information, especially Dante and his manager, were just as laid back, cutting up, relaxed, and I didn't think much of it at the time, but when I got out there and saw the match, and I was like, oh yeah, they know what they're doing. That's why they were so chill.
Something I noticed, I was, Tim wasn't there to do the mobile cam, so I stepped in to do that. And one of the things I noticed about Khalifa's manager is he was actually giving advice to his man. He was yelling out advice to Khalifa. So I mean, he wasn't just out there as just to interfere or to distract the opponent. I mean, he was giving good, sound, solid advice. He reminded me a lot of Gary Hart.
Oh, really?
Just out there, no nonsense, and giving good, solid advice to his man. And I was impressed with him.
Just in that clip I seen right there, I noticed he was very focused on the match.
If you look, you might not be able to hear him, but you can see his mouth moving, and him talking, talking to his guy, talking him through the match.
His official title is the CEO of Drop-A-Fella Records, Andrew Diggs. So
Drop a fella.
Drop-A-Fella.
That is awesome.
When he said that to me, I looked at him and I went, "What?" And he goes, "You heard me. Drop-A-Fella."
That's really good. And I was, it's
Didn't
so
stutter.
good to see these guys coming into the AIWF. They're like Rick said, they've been going around with wrestling and getting some reps under their belt, and it's just really good to see that they're coming in and we're able to showcase them, and I also was really impressed. It was a pleasure to record their match, if that makes any sense. Like they, it looked so good, and I'm glad, and I hope we see them back in the AIWF. So
Yeah,
and I'm sorry for the incorrect music being played. It was a new night, new computer, new person, so kind of got mixed up a little bit. So my apologies for that. Sometimes technical stuff just happens.
Mhm.
Nobody's fault. It's just one of those things that happen, and
I don't know if I should do my joke about the music guy on the air, but I did set an AIWF record for pissing the most people off in the shortest amount of time last night. So,
You're gonna bury anybody, bury the music guy.
Well, Rick already pointed out that it looked like some people were arguing. So
Yeah.
but it was all clear. It was fine. Worked itself out.
Yeah.
But I love seeing these new faces. It's really exciting. It's an exciting time in wrestlers and wrestling. And I'm glad that we're someplace that they want to come. So
Yeah. It's deal with a steel season too, so everybody gets all crazy about that.
Plus, you know how wrestling fans are. We always like something new. Anytime you throw something new at us, we always get excited. And so when I see new faces coming through, nothing wrong with the people that have been here a while, but you do like to see new people coming through. You got to have new matches and new opponents to get people excited and interested. And I'll tell you what, from what I saw last night, the future certainly looks bright as we head, through the end of the summer and into the fall. So, got some more highlights and stuff to show you, but I want to do my first spot read real quick while Rick Diesel's here, so he can maybe give us an update and what branch management's got going on lately. Because I know the hanging baskets.
It's that part's kind of slowed down. Everything's just sort of cruising right now with it. I mean, it's got our regular customers who's popping out there, and I mean, focusing on opening a new food truck. So
yeah, but branch management, they can help you out, man. If you need that lawn care handyman type service work, Rick Diesel, I was at a nursery here in Concord on Friday, and they selling Venus fly traps. And I'd never seen those in a nursery before, but the guy that owned the place was telling me, yeah, man, they're native to southeastern North Carolina. They'll grow in this climate. I don't know if they'd grow up there. I mean, it's not that much a difference in temperature between up there in Mount Airy and down here in Concord.
I've had one in my class before, and it did well.
How long did it live? Do you remember?
Let me think. Couple of months. I mean, it didn't live forever because it's in a classroom, but
right. Yeah, they have to be outside.
Yeah, we had it for a couple of months, even inside in one of those little cup things that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we have a plant, unit. So, but I haven't had one in a while. So,
I didn't even know they sold them in stores, but it was pretty cool. But anyway, branch management, if you're in the Mount Airy area, can help you out with pressure washing, contracting, gutter cleaning, free estimates, all that kind of stuff. I think my slideshow's messed up. I'm gonna have to just stop after this one and then do some checking. But anyway, give them a call, 336-648-2487. It's free estimates, so it don't cost you nothing to get them to come out there and look at what a mess you let the yard become, but they can help you get it straightened out. Call 336-648-2487, 336-648-2487. So yeah, let me check the slideshow. No, it's fine.
It was a long night.
It was a long night. And when it's hot, I will say, when it's hot, it like multiplies. Like it makes you feel like you've been there about 10 hours. So
Yeah, and I was up and back at it like sometime between 6:30 and 7 this morning. So
did you go get the food truck after the show last night, or did you go get it this morning?
Went and got it this morning.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't mess up the slideshow. I just was reading the ads in a different order. So let me get back and we'll tell you about, speaking of the food truck, let's talk about Tea's Treats. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Now, is Darren's food truck an extension of Tea's Treats, or is that going to have its own
It's going to have its own.
Oh, okay. It's going to have its own identity. So
it's appropriately called Big D's.
Big D's. Yeah.
Going through the big D and don't mean Dallas.
No, I can't believe what the judge had to tell us.
She got
go ahead, Reagan.
she got the something.
I got the Jeep.
She got the palace. Thank you.
Going through the big D and don't mean Dallas.
Yeah, they're all under the same LLC, but I named them different. You think Tristan's gonna share her name with him? Come on.
No.
So are they going to?
His truck's going to have roasted nuts.
Yes, they did have roasted nuts.
And they did have roasted nuts
last night.
Now there you go. If you're going to have Big D, you got to have roasted nuts.
Well, I told him he need to be selling pickles too.
Well, you know.
I'm not going to reveal where the source of this, but Mount Olive Large Sour. If any of you want to know where to get them, I'll tell you off the air. They're plumb delicious. They're the pickliest pickle that ever pickled a pickle.
Man, this is our second time going on about pickles.
Yeah. Well, we had a 5-minute rant at the end of last week's show.
Let me tell you what. Speaking of Big D's, at the Fiddlers Convention this weekend, the damn corn dogs was stupid that she was making, and people were just, going crazy over them. It was amazing.
Didn't you say you had people from Denmark come up to the trailer that had never had corn?
There was a couple from Denmark showed up, and they were, I guess, doing some, I don't know what they was doing here, but anyway, they had their first corn dog from Tea's Treats trailer this weekend.
That's awesome.
So they tried something new: hot dog on a stick, covered in batter and deep fried.
God bless America.
America.
Bluegrass and old time mountain music is the American descendant of like old Celtic type, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I would go with my parents a lot of time up to Floyd Country Store on Friday nights and listen to the bluegrass music. And more than once have I been up there where they had guest musicians from the UK or somewhere in Europe, and they're really into American bluegrass and old time mountain music. So that doesn't surprise me. When you said people from Denmark, that did not surprise me one bit. But I couldn't believe they'd never had a corn dog.
Yeah, never had a corn dog. Didn't know what it was like. And
I never thought of Denmark as a third world country.
Because they eat a little healthier than us.
Yeah. Well, they eat fish heads and hard. Denmark is like fish heads and hard tack, right? I mean, just I don't know what people in Denmark eat. Definitely not corn dogs, though. We do know that. But if you're interested in like bringing Tea's Treats to your event or tournament or whatnot, please call them at 336-755-8204. 336-755-8204. You can also check them out on Facebook. Their movements are tracked there as well. So all kinds of good stuff at Tea's Treats. And evidently the corn dogs are a big hit now. Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a gaming store that also features collectible toys, retro gaming consoles, as well as free-to-play arcade cabinets and comic books featuring Magic the Gathering, casual play, as well as tournaments. They also host Dungeons and Dragons campaigns several times a week, located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia. That is right near Lynchburg. Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. So they will let you finish that quest before they run you out of there.
I've seen some pictures of that they kind of some crowds in there playing them games.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need to check it out, and maybe put some of those on here too, with all those people in there.
I tell you what we need to do, Matt. We just need to grab a camera and just take a trip up there sometime.
I think so. I think that'd be a fun field trip. Trip up to Lynchburg.
Let me know when that one happens. I'll meet y'all there.
Yeah, man. They feature older console games like Nintendo and Sega classics for your play enjoyment, as well as 25 arcade cabinets with hundreds of your old school favorites, all set to free play. So, we always talk about Dragon's Lair being a quarter muncher. There's one of those in the back there. You can see it if you look real hard left of your screen. You won't have to open up a second mortgage on the house if you go play it there.
Is that Dragon's Lair? Is that the one where you would make a decision on which way you wanted to go that would affect the game and stuff?
Yeah. One false move and you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a tough game, but it's fun to play. It's just really difficult.
It's like a big laser disc, right? In there,
yeah, that's the original ones were. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see here. Our Monday night D&D group has been running for over a year, and they welcome newcomers, both experienced and inexperienced. They host video games competitions like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, and so on. You can give them a call at 434-317-0121 or shoot them an email at secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. That's secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Now, the second is not the word spelled out. It is, 2ND, the abbreviation, 2ND handheroesva@gmail.com. But always call them up. Don't just show up with 20 people and think you're going to play Magic. You might not have room. Yes, sir.
Can you drop back a screen?
Yes. There we go.
And as you can see in the center of the screen, in case you were ever wondering, the bathroom is clean.
Oh yeah, you can see that. The bathroom doors.
There it is. They keep it clean, sanitized for your protection.
Yep. I mean, there you go.
Don't you worry about it, buddy.
You need a big sign like Sparky's to Myrtle Beach. Clean restrooms.
I almost got T-bone trying to get in that place one time.
That is my most favorite place going to the beach. Like, it's just so magnificent.
It's hard to get to when you're going to, though, because it's on the left.
Yeah, we always hit it coming back.
Yeah.
So.
I like to hit it going down. They sell Nathan's hot dogs in there, and then you can get some ice cream to wash it all down.
I've never eaten there. I always just get nuts in the little candy room.
Yeah. Yeah, they believe in
a nut log.
Yeah, they are freaking pecan junkies in that place.
Peanut butter fudge is wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot they have the fudge there too. But anyway, we're talking about secondhand heroes, not Sparky's.
No, we're talking about clean bathroom.
Yeah, but speaking of Myrtle Beach, you can see.
Sorry,
Speaking of Myrtle Beach, you can see some chic originals there on that refrigerator.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some amazing artists based out of Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, right underneath Yoda, Master Yoda standing there. Yeah, and so there's some of the title belts they give away in the tournaments. So nice looking digs right there. Yeah. And yeah, that'll be a real wrestling trophy for you if you go win one of their video game tournaments, because you actually win it. You don't just buy it.
Yeah.
That's an AWA belt above it.
Yeah. World Tag Team Wrestling Champion, it said.
That's a pretty cool belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Secondhand Heroes, thanks for coming on board. We love having you. So also last night, let's see here. Let me pull up my list of matches. See what let's see. We had Logan Quindell against Mickey Fulp, and then something very interesting happened after that match. And a conversation between Mickey and Seth that
well, Seth kind of stepped into it. I mean, he stepped pretty deep.
I don't know what he was thinking bringing Mickey Fulp's wife into the promo they did earlier. Did he not think that would resonate? Mickey's a newlywed. I mean, why would you even?
First of all, you don't, even if they've been married 25 years, you don't insult the spouse.
You don't insult somebody's spouse. I mean, you're going to force them into a situation where things are going to get violent quickly.
Yes.
I mean,
it's either going to get violent between you and them, or you and your spouse. Well, not violent between you and your spouse, but big arguments.
Well, no, I mean, if somebody insulted Jinky, I'm not going to get mad at her.
No.
I know where I'm going to direct my
Some
anger.
of us have spouses that'll just show up and whoop that ass without us having to do it. So
Yeah,
I'm just
pretty
saying.
She's pretty spunky, so I could see that happening.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'd be me talking her out of throat punching somebody before anything happened.
Well, I've always, I mean, I had gotten to the point where I was kind of thinking, Seth Burns, he seems like a sharp cookie. You know what I'm saying? At times, he seems to make some decent business decisions, but some of these decisions he's been making regarding Mickey Fulp here lately, I don't know if they're the right direction he needs to be taking that relationship.
Yeah, it's certainly within a lot of question after last night. So I'm gonna cue this thing up here and let y'all listen. This was after the match with Logan Quindell. Mickey Fulp was victorious, albeit by nefarious means. But hey, that's Mickey Fulp these days. So, I mean, you kind of get what you expect. But can you guys see the picture?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Smokey, roll it.
He will always be your television champion in the Mid-Atlantic.
Do it without him next time.
I'm not done!
More music issues, sorry.
Until you see this microphone, give it back to Matt Carter. You don't turn on the music. Huh? Do I have to come over and do your damn job for you? And Matt Carter, won't you bring this in real quick on me? Joe Harrison, I know you're watching at home because you were too big of a bitch to show up tonight. Let me tell you, deal with the steel, this ends. I'm gonna finally put you 6 feet under where you belong, you miserable piece of crap. These people love Joe Harrison, huh? Well, buddy, they can't love a corpse. I'll tell you that much. So bring your ass to deal with the steel like you did tonight because you knew I was going to whoop your ass tonight. Bring it to deal with the steel. You're not taking this television championship away from me. I can promise you that, big boy.
Tonight, it was Logan Quindell. In the past, it was Ty Tyson. And it deal with the steel, Mickey Fulp ends Average Joe Harrison.
Average Joe.
It's funny. The only reason I'm wrestling Joe Harrison and dealing with steel is because of your dumb ass. And then on top of that, you come out here tonight and you insult my wife. I'm sorry, you're single and a lonely piece of crap apparently, but if you ever insult my wife again, I'm gonna put your head in the dirt with Joe Harrison. Hey, you know what? Speaking of Big Show, speaking of deal with the steel, you better get me another TV title. Yeah, it is mine.
We've done that.
I'm gonna finish this by myself. You will not be coming out the ring with me and deal with the steel. Do you understand? I don't give a damn if I'm under your contract or not, because Mickey Fulp has never needed anybody in his corner. You wanna speak some more, huh? You wanna speak some more? Okay, here you go, buddy. Don't you dare come out that way.
All right. Mickey, you want to go a temper tantrum like a toddler? That's fine. Good thing your wife's good at teaching. Mickey Fulp, you want it solo? You got it. I won't come out. You got Joe Harrison without me.
Well. That got really intense really quickly. I mean, Mickey was all fired up in that match. And I'm going to tell you what, him and Logan Quindell had one hell of a match last night. But I'm telling you, Mickey was razor sharp. And the fact that he is saying he is going to literally murder Joe Harrison and deal with steel, I mean, said he's going to.
I hope Joe Harrison don't die.
Yeah.
God, if he dies in that ring for it, even by accident, Mickey's gone.
Yeah.
He just got married.
Oh boy. Like when he
When he-
said that, I was standing behind the camera, my eyes got real big, and I could tell Mickey was laser focused because he was just staring in the lens of that camera like it was Joe Harrison right in front of him. It was a little bit scary.
Yeah, yeah. He Mickey is just unhinged about this whole Joe Harrison situation.
It's been going on for well over a year.
Yeah.
Well, it has, but Mickey considered it over. He considered he beat Joe Harrison at Deal with the Steel, so to him it was over, and he did not want to face Joe Harrison again. And he's right, because of Seth Burns, he now has to face Joe Harrison again, and he is not happy about it. And he is so unhappy about it that he's lost his mind.
Mhm.
I mean, because the thing is, we all know. I'm not going to say exactly why Joe Harrison wasn't there last night, but we all know why. It was a personal thing in his life, and we all know it. And Mickey Fulp knows why. And the fact that Mickey would say that he wasn't there because he was afraid of Mickey is just, it's low even for him, even by Mickey Fulp's standards, and the things that he was saying, and just thinking about the situation and why Joe Harrison wasn't there and the things that he was saying, it just, if you knew, again, it's not my business to say what Joe Harrison's personal business, but the things he was saying, just if you knew, it would be even worse. The things that as bad as what he was saying was, it's even worse with the situation of why Joe Harrison wasn't there that night. It just, and I'm not sure why this alliance is still even happening with Seth Burns and Joe Harrison. Obviously, neither one of them are happy with this arrangement.
Maybe they're doing it for the kids.
Well, Mickey mentioned something about being under contract, so maybe they're waiting for that to run out, and they're just stuck with each other.
But it seems like Seth Burns isn't happy with the situation either, because he's obviously not able to control Mickey Fulp like he thought he was going to be able to. Like we all knew he wouldn't be able to. I mean, when I first saw him walk out, I'm like, what's Seth Burns thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Mickey Fulp, he's a lone wolf. He's not somebody that you can tell what to do, and he's finding that out the hard way.
Yeah, but Mickey Fulp is sharp, right? I mean, as far as in the ring, I think he's sharp right now. I mean, he looked great last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as far as his ability
Matt,
in the ring.
I hate to interrupt, but I got my text message that my delivery's like 4 minutes away. So,
all right.
Hey, I'll try to get in more often, and as the weather turns, I'll be able to stay longer. But hey, it's great to be back, guys. Y'all,
yes, enjoyed having you.
Good seeing you, boss man.
Job. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
See you guys.
Rick Diesel, ladies and gentlemen. Just to give you an example of what I mean about how sharp and how intense Mickey Fulp is, let me show you this clip from the match that happened before all that we just saw. Hang on. Here, let me just show you this clip. Hang on. I do that every time. Check out the beginning of this.
Mickey Fulp against Logan Quindell in a non-title match.
Choking him on the ropes, backing down the referee.
Been going on for several minutes now. There you saw Seth Clayton Burns.
Now watch this. I don't remember Mickey doing that before. I like you, Logan, but stay down. It's an intimidation tactic, I know, but I don't remember him doing that before. Do you guys?
No.
Let me tell you, you come out the water. Hey!
Mickey, he's a master of the mind games.
Yeah. Watch these punches right here. Watch this.
What, Matt? What?
And then he chokes him blatantly. I mean, and it keeps going like that. I mean, now Logan had his own offense, but I don't know if you heard. But when he was unloading with those punches, I went, dang. And he heard me. And he was like, what? That wasn't the only time somebody heard me in the ring last night, because I don't, those fan cam videos, I just briefly explain what this video is and then its natural sound, unless something needs to be vocalized. And I thought those punches were so freaking solid. It surprised me. He was popping Logan's head, man. And,
yeah. And the thing, you talking about how sharp Mickey is, that match started off as a technical showdown between those two. Just move, reversal, and it was pretty even. But then, of course, Mickey starts with the eye poking and the punches and the brawling, and that's when things started going his way. So it was.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yep.
Yeah. Although NASCAR is trying to clean that up, they've really been cracking down this year. So,
yeah.
Speaking of NASCAR,
the thing I actually enjoyed about that clip was the fact of Mickey talking the whole time, because there is nothing worse than wearing an ass whipping to a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very deflating. It's bad enough getting beat up, but then when the guy's talking trash to you while it's happening
the whole time. Yeah.
But anyway, Logan Quindell held his own. I thought, even though he didn't end up victorious, I thought last night was one of his best showings. And I told him that after. I was like, even though you lost, shoot, that was like one of your better matches, dude. And I was like, don't even. And he looked at me kind of like sideways, like, what, like, what are you saying? I sucked before? And I was like, no. I was like, don't take that the wrong way. I said, you've been good since you first showed up here. But you like, every time I see you, it's better.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want growth. You want your next match to be your best. And that's and so far with Logan Quindell, that's definitely been the case. So it'll be a matter of time before he's wearing a belt.
Yeah,
ain't nothing wrong with losing as long as you learn something from it.
Exactly. Yeah, I would rather lose in a good fight than just as long as you don't get run over. You get in there, you get your licks in, and as long as it's like, well, it could have went either way.
Yep.
And that's definitely.
I'll wear the tail whipping. Just know I'll see you again.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's like that, I think, in all sports. It's like, just take this past year's Super Bowl, for example. Everybody knows I'm a huge mark for the 49ers, have been since I was a little kid. They lost in the last few seconds of the Super Bowl in overtime, I believe. And my wife looked at me and she goes, how are you feeling? I said, they played good. They did the best they could. They just got beat at the end and sudden death. I mean, what do you do? I mean, they hung on Kansas City the whole game. I mean, I hate it because that's twice we've lost to them now in the Super Bowl. Kind of sucks. It's getting old. But, hey, Taylor Swift was there. That made it a little better. So, even though she's with
might have lost. Yeah, might have lost today, but one day it'll be your day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I had no idea Stephen Hayes was a Swiftie, boy. But, that's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
No, not at all.
You know what? I saw you said people can talk shit about Taylor Swift all they want, but they had my wife got me to watch her Disney Plus concert, I think it's what it was on. It's from Los Angeles at the football stadium there. It's like it's a big 3-hour concert. Tell you what, man, you buy a ticket to see her, you're gonna get your damn money's worth. Because she stays out there like she plays like George Strait, like a 3-hour set and multiple costume changes. And George Strait don't give you that. What he's wearing at the start of the set is what he wears the whole time. Steve, did I get you, Steve?
Just awful.
Yeah. So Taylor Swift's definitely the George Strait of pop music. She's probably the best of all time. But anyway, some other weird things happened last night. How about Corey Etzel and Mecha Mercenary demanded new tag team championship belts? I thought that was odd, but a very Corey Etzel thing to do.
Yeah.
Justin Flash gets a new belt. I want a new belt. And he said that to Rick Diesel when they were in the ring. It was incredible.
Yeah. He even said he didn't really care, but if Justin Flash gets it, he wants it.
Yeah.
He demands it.
Yeah. Well, he got new belts, but they had to defend them against Justin Flash and a returning Kevin Phoenix, which we might take a look at some highlights in a little bit. But very Corey Etzel thing to do. And then I think they even ran off with the old belts. I mean,
wearing them like they're two different championships at one point.
Yeah, that's
which now, to be fair, Rick Diesel did present Justin Flash with the old AIWF Mid-Atlantic title
and let him keep it.
Yeah, and let him keep it. So I guess Corey thought that was just built in. It's not. No. It's not automatically that because you're the one holding the current title when you get the new title that you get to keep the old ones. But Corey just took it upon himself to give him and Mecha Mercenary the old title. So congratulations, I guess.
And those are in great shape. Yeah, and the old tag team titles are in great shape. Not like the Mid-Atlantic Championship had seen its better days.
Right.
But
it was time to be replaced. And lucky for us, a man like Justin Flash was currently holding the title. And then because of his long history and holding the title several times already, we presented him with the old title to put on his trophy case.
Yeah. Who we added up in the office? Justin Flash, everybody on this panel, except, Stephen Hayes wasn't there, but we had like over 100 years combined experience in the wrestling business, just about 6 of us.
Yeah, just standing there and talking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
But so anyway, the Corey, it's just a very Corey Etzel thing to do.
It is.
And so we also had the AIWF Mid-Atlantic Women's Championship on the line last night, which turned out to be a great match too. And we saw that video of Mickey Fulp actually hearing me make a comment. Well, I have another one from this match that happened. Brian, I think you were filming on the side of the ring that I was when it happened. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. Yeah, you got called out.
Yes. Truth be told, it's completely unintentional, but the series of events that plays through right here in this moment in this match is just hilarious. And you'll get to see kind of how intense this match was. Ghazi and Sasaki absolutely despise each other. And you could see it in the intensity of this match. Just check this out. This is funny.
Give me that hair! Give me your arms!
Wow. Ghazi hurt himself on that one. She hurt. Sorry.
Now watch this. Keep listening to the audio.
This is what he wanted!
Well, he told me she hurt.
No, I don't mean to laugh, but look, I mean, look at this shot with this trash can lid.
Ew.
Oh, that was gnarly.
That was the definition of talk shit, get hit.
Yep. Look at that knee. I mean, this match, I can't give it away here. I'm sorry, guys. I'd love to show you more of this, but it's going to have to wait. I want it to get the hits on YouTube. That match was vicious. And
Yes, it was.
and that part I showed, it was a moment of levity. You know, it was a funny thing that happened. But just to give you an example, that trash can lid was only the beginning. They were ripping and tearing at each other's faces, Brian, almost that whole match. And I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I was standing there like, you know, the dumb hick that I am filming that match, like with my mouth open. I mean, it was intense. And
Yeah.
And one thing I like about your fan cam that we miss, and I hate this about our filming, is you don't get to hear that stuff on our recordings.
Yeah, our close up camera doesn't pick up audio.
So it's nice, you know, for your fan cam to hear stuff like that, you know. And so
yeah, because as intense as that match was, and as intense as Ghazi was in this matchup, one of the things that I really enjoyed, besides the intensity and the competition, is she still, like, she'll throw in these like little jokes that nobody can hear, like the crowd can't hear her, but she'll just say these funny things like the great Sasaki was choking her on the ropes and beating her down, and she just said, "The things I do for love."
God, he does have a great sense of humor, and
I think Sasaki had given her like 3 German suplexes in a row, and she was like, "Quit Germaning me!" So yeah, that's one of the things that you know, I like both of those wrestlers. They're very good, and I love to watch both of them perform. And I was glad to finally get to see them go one-on-one against each other.
Yeah, I had said last week that the title was on life support. They got it off.
they did.
It's getting healthy. It's getting healthy again with that match. And
Well, it was,
Ghazi was so crestfallen about losing that title, though. They had the Great Sasaki won the championship last night. And I was trying to tell Ghazi in the back, I was like, you got nothing to feel bad for. That was a hell of a championship run. And Ghazi's frustration, I think, is what we talked about before, lack of opponents.
Right.
I held the title for over a year, but how many times did I really get to defend it?
Right.
And I said,
and that wasn't her fault. Again, we tried our best to find women talent that was willing to work with us at a reasonable price,
and with the ability.
Right.
And with ability.
Yeah, the combination of finding but the thing is about ability, like I said last week, you have some women who come straight out of training and they want 2 or 3 times the amounts that we give the guys. And it's like, no, thank you.
Well, I'm just glad to see. I think, you know, not talking about Clara and not talking about all the way back to
Casey Fox.
It was nice to see 2 wrestlers who wanted that title, and you could tell they wanted that title. It wasn't just somebody passing in the night who was just going to come wrestle their match and do whatever. These 2 people wanted that belt. And I think that shows in the match they had. You know, they weren't coming to just phone it in for whatever reason.
Well, and they both take their craft seriously.
Yes, they do. And going along with what you were saying, Brian, I told Ghazi, I was like, I said, it's almost like this effing title is cursed. I said, because we had the same problem. Claire was champion. And no matter what, she was here every week with Jesse, but I just said a shoot name. Shit. But
no, he says he's Jesse Alexander Carter.
Okay, all right. So she's with him. She's with him every week, and we got to the point where we were teasing her because she was having so long between title defenses. And one night we were teasing her, and she just looks at me, just looked at us, and was like, "What do you want me to do? I'm here every week. I'm ready to defend it, but nobody will show up." and I think that made Gazi feel a little better. Like, there's been this problem long before you got here, and it's probably going to be a problem going forward. But the great Sasaki thinks that she's not going to have any trouble finding opponents to come in here and come after that title. So we will see. So best of luck to the new champion. Yeah, I hope so too. I'd love to see. We don't have to have a women's title match on every damn card, but I'd like to see one once a month. I don't think that's unreasonable. Once a month. No. So that's just what I'd like to see, and hopefully that will happen. But kudos to the Butcher Brat and the Great Sasaki for putting on a hell of a match. You're going to see it on YouTube in a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, I'm sure, and you will enjoy it thoroughly. It's very, very violent, very intense. And if you like pro wrestling, it's got wrestling, it's got hardcore, it's got violence. There's something for everybody all in one match. And I don't mean a bunch of flippity acrobatic bullshit either, man. I'm talking about a down and dirty gutter fight.
No thigh slapping. I guess it'd be thigh slapping for a woman.
Yeah. So anyway, great matchup. And let's see what else happened last night. Oh, before I go into that, I better read the other ads. Might ought to. Let's see here. I already did those. I'm doing them backwards today. I did the last set first, and now I'm doing the first set last. So this will be quick. Hang with us, everybody. YouTube, insert commercial here, please. Yes, sir. Premier Auto Detailing is a very fine establishment run by fine, upstanding Christian people. I don't know why I got the urge to do that. That's old sweet Stan Lane joke. Premier Auto Detailing, hands down, the best car cleaning service in town. They service the Mount Airy area. If you need that car cleaned up just because you don't like washing cars, or you've gotten that old jalopy finally off blocks and ready to take it to town, they can help you out with that. 336-736-2638. That's 336-736-2638 for Premier Auto Detailing. And they would cover the Mount Airy, Surrey County area. If you pay them enough, they'll go a little farther. But they'll get that car cleaned up. If you need them detailed with a toothbrush or just a regular wash, they do it all. So give them a call. And number one more time, 336-736-2638. And also Tees Creations Custom Apparel. If you need custom made sweatshirts, t-shirts, hoodies, any of that kind of stuff, they got you covered. They even got the cowl with the front license plate, Tristan Ty, but you can have your names put there. I mean, she'll make you one that says Tristan Ty if you want. But, it'd look a little weird if you're Carl and Eugenia and you're driving around with a Tristan Ty front plate. I don't know. I kind of got to wonder about that. But anyway, you can find them all over the interwebs. teescreations22.com, Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook, TikTok, Tees Creations, and they are also on Shopify. Tees Creations, they got you covered, man. And I really encourage you to check out their TikTok. It's very bright and loud and attention getting. So yeah, check them out. Tees Creations. So
we did miss something. What? Speaking of Trista and Ty.
What's that?
We missed Seth Burns' match with Ty Tyson.
Oh, he was supposed to. Oh yeah, I didn't even film that. It was such a farce.
It was so. Did that come after his apology to
Yes.
you and me? Yeah,
I think so. Yes,
he was. I don't know. I don't know why he keeps poking the bull of Trista, not just Ty, but Trista. I've seen Trista go after a wrestler. I don't think he knows what he's calling down.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna. What is you call down the thunder?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, ask Mr. JAC about that. That was the only night I ever really. Well, there was one other time, but the first time in all my years of wrestling that I felt like, oh shit, I'm right in the middle of this. I'm gonna get hurt. And that was a scary moment when they grabbed Rose Tyson and threw her in the ring and slapped that sleeper hold on her. And Trista was all the way back in the food truck, but it seems like she was there trying to get in the ring within like a half a millisecond. It was incredible how fast she moved that night. So, yeah. So speaking of Jack and Clara, Clara made an appearance on AEW Dynamite this past week from Winston-Salem in front of a sellout crowd of 2,500 people. That is not a knock on Clara. She was not supposed to draw for that card. She was.
Wait, is that really are you being sarcastic, or that was the honest number?
That was the honest number, 2,500 in the Joel Coliseum. That's like pissing in a snowbank.
What's so crazy is they ended up opening 2 more sections that they sold.
Really?
Or they said they sold.
Let's go to WrestleTix and find out the truth. Hang on just a second.
Anyway, let's talk about Clara and Jasper.
Yes, let's talk about Clara. That was so cool seeing her on national TV.
And oh god, I don't remember her tag. Camille, which
Jasmine
is
Howe. Yeah, Jasmine.
You know, if you know anything about Camille, she's a big bitch.
Mm-hmm. And big girl.
And but I was glad to see her on there. That was Jack made his wrestling match debut in Japan. And you can check that out on his Facebook. And he's also documenting, his workouts and his traveling and stuff. So they're doing a really good job. I'm happy for both of them. They deserve it. They have put the work in. They have made the reps. They've been doing the work, and it's paying off for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm not going to take credit, of course, but I did make the call last week that even though JAC was getting his shot in Japan, so the focus is mainly on him, that it was just a matter of time before Clara got her shot, and then she gets her AEW debut. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's just, she is going to get her opportunities, and she's already started to get them. So I'm just
talent.
See that.
I can't find anything on WrestleTix about I see the one the week before, August 10th, Nutter Center. That's the one.
I know that they were
yesterday.
I know that I think their TV, even with the what they thought was going to be their Dynamite match main event of Jeff Jarrett versus Daniel Bryan. It wasn't the thing. It wasn't the rating buster they thought it was going to be.
All right. Let's see. I found it finally. Only one update. And the last time they posted the day of the show, when he typically asks for, hey, if you're in the arena, take pictures of the arena, and so I can gauge how full or empty it is and measure it against my algorithm. Available tickets 245. Current setup 2,983. Tickets distributed 2,738. And some of that was, I'm sure, comps, because there are always comps for sponsors and stuff like that. I mean,
right.
They're not doing anything that nobody else does. But in the Joel Coliseum, which is a arena specifically built for college basketball, 2,700 is.
And I'm wondering how the Coliseum feels about that, because I had actually read stuff from the Coliseum that said they were in talks with the AEW to do more shows there and possibly bigger shows, which I assume they meant like PPVs, the way it sounded. So I would just like to know if the Coliseum itself thought that was. You'll never know, I guess we'll know if they don't ever come back.
Yeah, if they don't come back. But I mean, it's got local support. I mean, we all know AML's behind it, and they did have several other sponsors pushing the event. But I mean,
I
it's not basketball season. School's not in right now, so the Coliseum really. What do they have going on? Are they having a lot of concerts right now, or?
I don't think so.
Not that I know of.
Not
I mean,
that
there might be, but
there might be, but I don't. There's none that can stick out to me because right now during the summer they do a bunch of like country singers in the annex. That's where I saw Clint Black last year that made Rick so mad at me.
Yeah, I remember that.
I put point for Clint Black.
Think about that.
So I don't know, and I don't hear that, and that I know that that's sort of like in the grand scheme of thing a slightly smaller venue, right? I mean, it's not a big venue. It's not as big as Greensboro.
No, but Greensboro seat 22,000 for basketball. I think I don't know what the capacity is for the Joel, but it ain't that.
My wonder though is if they thought those 500 would be walk-up sales, and it was during the middle of the hurricane. So, so I don't know. I wish we could have gone, but we had open house for our children.
You probably had more fun at the open house. I left AEW when I went to Battle of the Belts, like thinking,
I still
is that all? Is that all? And that's the way I used to leave WCW shows. And I don't like that feeling. It's like I had a good time, but that wasn't really. I mean, it was fun getting out and going sitting in this historical building that I love, that so much great wrestling has been in, going back to the days of Jim Crockett Sr., but this was not that great. Oh, there's Casey Fox's parents. Hey, y'all. I mean, that was really the highlight of the night for me. So
I don't know. I wish I could have gone to see it. Not just the wrestling, but to see what it looked like there. Do you know what I'm saying? So I could have been like, but hey, here I was, and there wasn't any people sitting here. But people been posting about SummerSlam about how their sections got blacked out, and then they actually got better seats.
Yeah.
Because of it. So I mean, I know that seems like apples to oranges because how large that stadium is, but it. I don't know. And
I knew when they said they were going to go to Cleveland Browns Stadium, I looked at Jinky and I was like, they'll never fill it because it seats like 80,000 people. For SummerSlam,
right?
Cleveland, nah.
And I just, I don't know.
They put over 50,000 in there though.
I wanted to go because me and my friends have such a good memory of like we went like. This shows how old we are. And I've said this before, we got a tent, we got sleeping bags, and we camped out all night for Fall Brawl tickets and slept in the tent and hung out with all the people that were other people that were waiting in line all night. And then we went to Fall Brawl and we had pretty decent seats, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan didn't ruin it. And it was Fall Brawl. It was the NWO and the Horsemen, I think. So I wanted to, that's one of the reasons I wanted to go because, I have such a fond memory of a time when WCW was doing really well and it was pretty good and stuff. And I feel bad that I didn't get to go, but family comes first.
Yep, yes it does. And I'm nostalgic about that building too. Anytime I'm over there in the neighborhood, I always look upon it with fond memories because I went to Fall Brawl '96 in there. Was on the 4th row for the War Games. That was when fake Sting and real Sting confronted each other, and then real Sting walked out, and we never saw Surfer Sting again. That was the last appearance of Surfer Sting. I was there on the 4th fucking row. Yes, I was. And we had a great time that night, except the NWO won. And I just remember looking at Scott going, God almighty, man, they win every damn night. And that eventually chased me away from WCW the next year.
Yeah.
The thing is like, I'm rewatching Nitro in order because, I have no life. But and I'm watching it and I'm like, this is it. I guess because it was so different. It wasn't something that you had seen before, I guess. And I don't know, but watching it back now, I'm like, oh my God. They had a Nitro that was NWO run. Well, we talked about this already. Sorry to repeat, but it's just I'm watching. I'm like, how did this work? Like, how did this get so big? And I wonder though if it's because there in the beginning, Raw was still taped, but once they started going live, that's when it started going downhill for WCW. So I don't know, and I hate to make comparisons, but it's kind of hard not to. I am excited though about the rumor that Pentagon and Ray Phoenix are going to go to WWE. They just copyrighted their names.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So, or they're working on copyrighting their names. So, which probably means to me that they're going to be using new names in WWE, which I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like their names are very, like, especially Pentagon. That's but we'll see. I'm excited to see what they do there. I don't know where they're going. I don't know any of that stuff. That's the rumor. So that's kind of exciting for them. And
Ethan
really
Page
good.
is doing good there in NXT. He's the NXT champion, and he is very interesting. Like in AEW, you barely noticed him. He was, down on the bottom of the card or whatever. But like, since he's been in NXT, I'm like, wow, this guy's got a good personality. And I don't know who this Joe Hendry person is from TNA, but that is the catchiest damn jingle I have ever heard in my life. I do believe in Joe Hendry. I don't know why, but I hear that song enough and it's made me think it. So, and he always comes out there with that positive attitude. And then he opens his mouth and he's this, smart ass limey. I mean, I have one of my good friends was a smart ass limey. So Raj Patel, and I like that. So good for him.
It's such a good time in wrestling. I want everybody to succeed.
Yeah,
you know
man,
what I'm
me
saying?
too.
We say this all the time. And like I say, I sound like a broken record. I like a lot of their undercard, which makes me also feel like WCW because their undercard was so damn good.
Yeah.
And AEW is most undercard. And then they have several top guys that aren't like the Jerichos and the Jeff Jarrett's and that are really good. But it's just, I don't know. But
WCW can be summed up in one event, the entire run of WCW, and I will say Halloween Havoc 98. Kids, if you go on Peacock and watch that, you don't get the full impression on what happened that night because fortunately, the cable system I was on did not cut it off. We got to see Goldberg and Diamond Dallas Page. But before that match, I think was Hogan and Warrior, right? And that match
that's the one that was after the seeing him in the mirror and all that stuff, right? Yeah. And all that crazy. And it was just that match right there was probably, I mean, besides when Roddy Piper was he went up against Hogan? That was terrible too.
Which one? Like, I thought the one at Starrcade was good.
You give me the Piper and Hogan WCW over anything with Warrior any day.
I think it was just maybe it was the mark in me that was upset because they kept playing off his hip. Maybe that was more what I'm remembering from it. Because that was when they were really beating on his hip, right?
Yeah.
That might be the mark in me then. But that Warrior, he was just way past his. I mean,
well, he's never really
good.
Gonna
say, was he ever really good?
Right.
And I'm sorry,
smoking Brian.
Well, I mean, he had a big, huge personality, and people really liked him because of that. But that's all he had. He was just running purely on the character, the larger than life character he had made for himself, and just brute strength. But as far as
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well, like I remember thinking anytime his match went more than a couple of minutes, I was start getting bored with it, and that's as a 14-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like
talk about old. It's like the only time Warrior was ever interesting to me was when he was Dingo Warrior in World Class, and I was seeing him on ESPN after school. You know, it's like, okay.
Everything about him is hot trash when you think about it. Because I think about when they were supposed to bring him in, and then they didn't, and then they screwed over poor Renegade. Like, he didn't have a chance in hell
to
do anything after that. And it was just like, I don't know. I don't.
Well, Renegade was just gimmick thievery anyway.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't his fault.
There were people that were convinced that that was the Ultimate Warrior, and I'm like, no, guy, that is not the same guy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He just lost weight.
They'd have been better off putting the Warrior gimmick on Randy or Bill Mulkey and letting it run from there. You know, that's
you know, and every wrestling organization has made terrible decisions.
Oh, yeah.
Can you name one that has not had a terrible decision?
No.
Diesel booked me for 15 years, so I mean that's.
I mean, I know we joke about Smoky Mountain and Cornette apologized, but you had Prince
Cahagas.
And AWA had all that terrible team challenge crap.
Yeah. Where they had Greg Gagne. You could stop right there.
Football in the ring. That's the worst. When they were doing the football. Did I show you so they had a wrestler in a corner and another wrestler in a corner. Yep. And they had to take the football and get to the other corner. And that was
saying it. Yeah, it was horrible.
That ESPN AWA was hard to watch.
I won't even watch it. It's on Peacock, and I will not watch it because I've heard it's so bad.
You can sum up AWA with Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Not all of it.
Yeah.
You have to find the most of the ESPN stuff on YouTube.
I watched the Super Clash inside the Minnesota the football the old football stadium, the one that fell down. And that was pretty cool. Stan Hansen was on that show and slammed one of the announcers. That was fucking awesome.
I mean,
as I said, you sum up AWA with Wrestle Rock Rumble, and done.
And but it's just, it's always the mistakes at the end that bring it.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that was what ended it. Yeah, that's what ended it. And I don't want to see that happen to any organization now.
Right.
No.
But,
before we went on the air, we were talking about the PBS documentary that PBS NC produced down in Raleigh about the history of wrestling in the Dorton Arena. I know you guys forgot to DVR it. You can probably find it somewhere online if you I know that PBS has an on-demand service if you're willing to fork out some money for it, but you could probably get a login and password elsewhere. If you know what I mean. But anyway, they talked about the history of the wrestling, but they also talked about the history of the building itself and what the architectural design was about and all that kind of stuff. It was really good in that you did not have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy it. If you were just interested in the history of Raleigh or Eastern North Carolina, you would have been interested in that show because it was so well done. And we have not always seen eye to eye, but Brad Stutz was one of the panelists, and I'm going to say this on record because it needs to be said. He was one of the panelists on that thing, and he did an excellent job explaining what wrestling is, what it means to this area, to the general public, not wrestling fans. Because again, I say this program was designed to be watched by everybody, not just wrestling fans. Fucking phenomenal job. David Crockett, as always, was just as candid and just as brutally honest of a human being as but polite about it. He's not going to cuss a blue streak, but he'll tell you the truth. And he said something, you could tell like when they started talking about the company going downhill, he kind of got upset, but he said something that's going to live with me for the rest of my life. He said that a few years ago, before Jimmy passed away, that they were at some function here in the Carolinas, and they, some kind of festival or something like that, where they were just viewing the modern wrestling culture. They were guests or whatever. And he said that Jimmy looked at him and he goes, David, he said, I mean, Jim Crockett Promotions failed financially, but look what it blossomed from it. I mean, there's this whole subculture of wrestling that's deep in this area, and it's because of what we did. And and David said he was proud of that. I'd never heard him say that exact story. He hasn't even said, David Crockett has even gone on record as saying he was proud of what Vince McMahon has been able to do with wrestling, taking it worldwide. Here's the guy that put him out of business. And he's like, I didn't like all the ways Vince went about it, but I am proud to see where he's taken the wrestling. Who knew that it could be a worldwide phenomenon like it is now? So
you can watch it on pbs.org.
Okay. Yeah. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah. If you Google the name of it and rerun, it comes up on the PB, and it's the whole thing. I just fast forward through it and make sure it was the whole thing. So
yeah,
that's a good thing about public broadcasting.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, good. I can actually watch it now.
And the thing, the thing that you're saying about being proud, they should be proud of it. Just because it didn't last forever doesn't mean it wasn't great. I mean, you watch those old Mid-Atlantic Crockett Promotion shows, it still holds up to this day. If you're a wrestling fan and you watch that stuff and it's good. I mean, it's good stuff.
I mean, think about, look who we're having coming in for Deal with the Steel.
Yeah. People involved in Crockett Promotions.
Yes. Think about how, I know it's not around now, but how long did that big gold belt last? How long it even went into WWE, right? When
Triple H has it in his office.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. Look at how far that went. I mean, like I said, you still like who we have, with the Barbarian and Nikita. But you see this also with like Ricky and Arn and Tully. Like they're all still out there, and a lot of them aren't wrestling, but they're putting their input. Their input is still being taken in modern wrestling. And I do believe that wrestling changed wrestling. So,
I may be wrong about that with Triple H. Let me just say something real quick, Steven. You go ahead. Triple H, I think, has the 10 pounds of gold in his office.
Yeah, he
does.
does.
Okay, go ahead.
But you take the AIWF, you take any other organization throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and I promise you, almost every one of them was started by someone who grew up on Crockett Promotions or, had a small hand in one or two televisions on Crockett Promotions as enhancement or whatever. That history will keep through the Mid-Atlantic till we're all dead and gone, just because of what that promotion meant to that area.
Yeah. I was talking to some people at a WWE show at SmackDown, and I was like, how well aware are you of the illustrious history of Charlotte wrestling? And the guys next to us were like, very much. And I was like, good. Well, they were our age. But you see, like, when you see with families, you see like people our age with their kids, or, and some of them that are a little older than us with their grandkids. And it's like, it's being passed down. They're telling the stories. Yeah, man, the promotion used to actually be based here, in Charlotte, and it's a privilege to sit in a damn wrestling crowd in this city. I will say that every time, because fans are just like I remember when I was little, man, rabid, wild, hollering, yelling, not as many drunks brawling in the stands as it was back in the 80s in Greensboro, but you only had one fight a night.
You can see the ring without all the cigarette smoke indoors.
Yeah, you don't have to keep doing this to be able to see the ring. Yeah, that is kind of nice. Even though I'm a smoker, I would not want to be in a wrestling show with a bunch of other smokers thinking they can light up indoors. That would not be fun.
I was telling not about wrestling, but I was just telling my children. When I worked, now this is forever ago, one of my first jobs was at Walmart, and that's when people could smoke in Walmart, and it
I remember
blew my children's minds away. Like they were just, and because everybody hears the stories about restaurants with the little bitty wall, and this is smoking, this is non-smoking, but for them to hear that people would just walk around Walmart smoking cigarettes was just.
Now, see, I don't remember that. I remember you could smoke in the snack bar, but I didn't think you could just walk around the store and light up and start puffing away.
You could at the Walmart before they rebuilt it over on University.
Really?
I worked in the jewelry department / shoe department.
Yeah.
People come up to the jewelry.
It's so Walmart. Jewelry / shoes / candy / housewares. And I hate when you go into Walmart and you're like, hey, do you have any you got any plastic Tupperware bowls? Sure, housewares, which is the biggest section in the fucking store. It goes from one side to the other. Housewares.
I'm not going
I need
to
a diamond ring, a block of cheese, and some underwear.
Housewares.
I don't judge anybody that works there because I'm sure that's a terrible job. But I swear to God, right now, with this thing where they don't let you do more than 15 at the self-checkout, it's making my blood boil. I bet we stood in line today for 30 minutes? Mm-hmm. And I was furious because I don't know.
I'll tell you how you fix that, Reagan.
You buy the membership and get the app.
Food Line.
That's what I do with
Food
Sam's.
Line or Harris Teeter.
And that's what I said to Brian. I said, this is making me want to start going to a grocery store. I mean, I don't, but we were doing school supply shopping. So
you get that at Food Line.
And and we don't have that problem at the neighborhood markets.
No, the neighborhood markets are great.
Except ours doesn't carry hardly any bread anymore, like fancy bread. They only carry like small amount of that and the small amount of like good cakes and stuff, and that's made me mad. But I'm a boomer.
Well, Walmart, it's just they're the budget place. I mean, if you want nice stuff, I say this. I go to Food Line because it's less of a hassle than going down to the neighborhood market, because people at the neighborhood market are a little bit wild. They don't understand that you need to keep your buggy to the right of the aisle. They whiz past the ends of the aisles, close, hugging near the exit of the aisle. So if you don't stop and look and ease your buggy out, wham, somebody's going to hit it.
Well, see, ours used to have that middle center aisle, which I liked. Brian didn't, but they changed it. Now they're this big long aisles, but I don't know. I remember when I was little, though, there weren't any Walmarts around here. Mm-hmm. And so when I would go to Florida to visit my grandparents, I was always super excited to go to their Walmart.
Yeah.
And then like when we traveled, I would get super excited because we could go to Walmarts like in other places before we ever had one. So, but that's how far it's come from the brown Walmarts to the blue Walmarts.
And you realize it's just Groundhog Day. They're all the same.
They're awesome. And I got all excited, when the first time I went into Publix, because I discovered that I could buy pickled sausage and pickled eggs that were made in Florida. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, that excited.
Yeah. That was always exciting to do too when I went to my grandparents, because they lived outside of Tampa. So yeah.
Well, Publix used to be like Kmart, didn't they? They weren't always a grocery store, didn't they? They used to sell clothes and stuff like that, like back
that. I don't know. Just when I was little, Publix was just a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But we have a Publix here. It's very nice. Yeah. But
I love Publix.
They're very expensive.
Yeah, I go in there for specialty items. I wouldn't do my day-to-day shopping in there.
If you've never had Publix fried chicken, you gotta go right now and get you some Publix fried chicken. It is the best fried chicken I've ever had in my entire life.
Well, I don't know if I go that far, but Mom's pan.
And since we went there, I want to hear nothing when me and Matt bring up pickles again. Okay.
Store bought fried chicken. Yeah, we need to take it home.
It's shocking how good it is.
I'm sure. It's like people always rave about the fresh deli sandwiches at Lowe's Foods. They're like, I see people in there. If you go in there during the middle of the day, those tables in front of the deli be full. People just
they're also there drinking because that's what they have bars now.
Yeah,
Beer dens.
Yeah, the beer den at our Lowe's in Harrisburg is on the opposite side of the store from the food, so you have to move to a different location if you want to drink. But it's crazy. They have the cup holders in the buggies now. So if you want to go crack open a cold beer while you shop for groceries, man, that's nobody cares. And like, we've gone from a time where you can't consume beer in public unless it's in a plastic cup to openly walking through the supermarket with one, while you pay too much for fucking crab legs, so things have changed.
With the prices of everything, that's why you can drink in the store now.
Yeah, they want you drunk, just like a casino, so you keep spending.
And they just need to start blowing in the oxygen.
Yeah, no, boy, if they did that, goodness sakes.
Can you imagine how much stuff they'd sell? But I'm always trouble when I go to Publix because I only want like the cakes or the this or the that, and then it's like, then it's expensive and I haven't gotten anything. So,
can't make it past the bakery.
That bakery is something else. Their Tres Leches cake is so good. Oh my God, we end everything on food. We should just call this the fat ass section.
Well, it is.
It's a bunch of fat kids. Come on.
Yeah, look at all these chins. Look at these.
That's why I have a beard. That way you can't see more than one.
Yeah, if you guess how many I've got, I'll give you a free bag of jelly beans. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, it's. I like where we live because we have a good variety of. Do we have we do have a food line. It's just our food line's in a weird place, like the one over here. So
I love my food line. They filmed a commercial at the one that I go to one time. It was pretty cool.
Do we have a Harris Teeter?
In Winston, we don't have one here.
Yeah,
never
I see the sign up there every time I come up for wrestling. Like they used to have a sign for Lowe's Foods. It was not Harris Teeter, but all it said was, around here we call this a buggy, and it had a picture of a shopping cart on it. And I told Jinky, I was like, I've slipped into calling them shopping carts, but when I was a kid, they're right. That's a buggy, not a fucking shopping cart. So
walk in a Piggly Wiggly and call it a shopping cart.
Yeah, our kids still get onto us sometimes. Take the buggy back. What? You mean the shopping cart? No, we mean the buggy.
Yeah, in Winston-Salem, we say the buggy. Damn it! Oh Lord, we've exhausted our time. I think.
Yep.
We're almost at 2 hours, and we've been talking about.
My cat is wanting to look out the window. So
the different supermarkets in our lives. Of course, Stephen Hayes out there in Tennessee, it's Food City country.
You damn right, it's Food City.
What was it here before it was Food Lawn? Food World?
Food Town.
Food Town.
Yeah, that's why Food City's Food City, and there was
that's right.
Food City was Food Town, Food Lion was Food Town, and there was also a chain in Ohio called Food Town, and none of them exist anymore. So they've all got different names. So
yeah, to my family, 20 years after they changed it, they still called it Food Town.
We're not changing for nothing.
Pretty sure it says Food Lion. Yeah, we're going to Food Town.
I always thought that was a funny looking lion, with his I've never seen a lion that looked like that. And then when the UFC started up and Ken Shamrock was carrying that flag with that fucking lion on it down to the ring, I was like, what in the world is going on here? Why does he keep carrying a flag of the Food Lion line? Are they a sponsor or something?
Sponsored fighter right there.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Lord. Anyway, we got to get out of here. Lord. Yeah. All right, we'll be back next week for some more of this riveting Emmy-seeking programming. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. We will be one week closer to Deal with the Steel. It comes up on August the 31st. Last day of the month, and it's going to be a rocket buster. All matches inside an 11-foot high steel cage. Rick Diesel corrected me last night. 11-foot high steel cage. You won't want to miss it. We gave a bunch of free tickets away last night. That was fun because we really got to give our regulars, like everybody that won the tickets last night was our regulars.
I noticed that. Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad. Like I said, I think we have the best fans of any place I've ever been.
Yeah.
Like, God, they're just so loyal. And sometimes they sit in a very hot building and they still come and they are excited and they're a true breed of wrestling fan. I appreciate every single one of them coming out.
Yeah, and a lot of them drive from Galax and Hillsville in Virginia all the way down there,
Yeah.
which is a good hour, or in Galax's case, I bet probably about 2 hour hump.
We do the Ivanhoe show is between now and still with the deal with the
Deal with the deal.
Oh, so that's
Got
a
it.
joint between AIWF and good Lord. I guess if I said
ICW.
yes, thank you.
Yes,
So that's
You're
gonna be the 25th, I think.
I think so.
That's Sam's group, right?
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you're in that area, come check us out.
Ivanhoe,
Yeah.
Ivanhoe, Virginia.
It's,
Right off I-77, right?
And as long as you don't find good, and don't follow Google, because Google took us through a cemetery, like a dirt, not even a dirt road, like a wagon road through the cemetery.
So just head up 77.
Sounds like Ivanhoe.
Yeah. So just head up 77 till you see the sign.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So no raccoons will be hit.
Oh Lord. Anyway, we'll get out of here. We'll be back next week, folks. Hopefully Rick Diesel will be able to join us for a little while next week too. But summertime's, I mean, when you run greenhouses and food trucks, summer's you're busy part of the year. So that's why we hadn't seen him that much. But we hope to see him back next week. Stephen Hayes, thank you for joining us, sir. We gotta we gotta show these or tell these people about George Goulas at some point, because Reagan, I don't think is familiar.
I am not familiar.
Lord.
We got to talk about the way I was just sitting here thinking about that. Some of the worst ideas in wrestling. And when Reagan first said that, it popped into my head. George Goulas was a pretty bad idea. So,
yeah.
But we need to talk about that. And that's Tennessee, Tennessee wrestling history there. So it's always very interesting.
I will make the notes and let you know when I'm ready for it, Matt.
All right, cool beans. And yeah, I'd love to do a George Goulas discussion. I've heard Cornette and Dutch Mantell say some funny shit, boy. So I want to look into that more. But anyway, so for Stephen Hayes, for Brian and Reagan Danzig, I'm Mad Matt Carter. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We'll see you next week, fans. And until then, so long for now.